Here we go again. It's okay to be vulnerable in this life. It's okay to show your emotions. You want to measure it, sure, but don't deny it and don't resist. I don't know about apologies. I tend to say sorry when I get upset around people. I break the status quo of normalcy, of stability with mood, without the waves and the tremors of hysterics. Oftentimes people are there for the highs, the manic laughter, the jokes, the energy. It's the other side of the spectrum where people's openness really comes in, where people show whether or not they really care about other people. And I think being open to other people's emotions, giving them space to play out, to run their course, to allow the other person to work through, to allow yourself to work through, I think it's very important. And I think it's in a lot of ways lost on us as a species. This is why I try to be in touch with my emotions every day. I try to make myself become in touch with them, because every morning is a reset. I have to ask myself, who am I going to be today? Just like I asked myself that this morning. Consequences of my actions oftentimes weigh up, and my answer to the question, who am I going to be today, needs to remain consistent, but also flexible. I like to have freedom within a framework, not to be so rigid that I cannot express my emotions or indulge certain feelings that, I don't think that emotions are something to be indulged, but I do think that you can change the form of energy, and that requires a certain amount of openness and a certain amount of diving in. So I don't know if you want to say that indulging and diving in are the same thing, but I tend to think of indulgence as expedient and sometimes self-destructive. A masochist performing self-destruction is a form of hedonism. So that's not to say that we indulge our emotions in so much that we destroy ourselves, but we explore them insofar as we are able to change their form. We're able to create totems outside of the body for them, to give them rest. I think that's really what a burial is we have this symbolic structure of saying goodbye, and then the totem which contains the goodbye. I think closure for a lot of people occurs after they are open to saying goodbye for real, open to exploring their emotions. This is what a funeral is for. People that don't cry at funerals when they feel like, they have to be strong. You don't have to be strong. Not all the time. And that's not to say that there isn't strength in showing your emotions. There is a weakness in running away from anything. And there is a difference between being beaten down to the point where everything reaches ahead and experiencing humanity. It's an important difference to make. I don't think that being beaten down, always necessitates a cry, but when it does, it's okay. But that doesn't mean that crying is always because you've been beaten down. There are many ways to show emotion, to express, to filter, and to receive. Some of us receive so much from this earth with our senses, our eyes, our ears, our hearts, that our physical bodies, when faced with the weight of the Spirit, it's like a cup overflowing with water. But this cup has hands and can make smaller cups. My cup overfloweth very often. And I only hope but to have some sort of a basin or another type of container for everything to flow into. Because I don't want to dry up. This is what people talk about when they say getting old, when they're not even old yet. I want to remain a rich person. And I don't mean that in monetary terms. I mean rich like a cake is rich. Like there is just such dense character and, a peculiar sweetness, and maybe a cake isn't the best metaphor, but I think about rich, if you have a rich life, you can enrich others' lives. That's the idea of sharing that which floweth out. I wonder if it's said that it is not that which floweth into the body which can corrupt it, but that which floweth out, if there is also somewhat of a counterpoint to that, which says it can, I think the point of that is like we have the will, and we have the choice to choose if what we express is corrupt or not, is bad or not. And I wonder if there's a counterpoint to that, to say that like that which floweth out can purify, to enrich the life of another. Iron sharpens the iron is a common saying that I hear. So to say that one man can sharpen another man. To say that when we spend time together, we grow exponentially. When we are open and when we are feeding back, when we are not denying, when we are complimenting and not replicating, when we're harmonious, acting in accordance to our differences, not despite our differences. Think about a chord. The root note and the fifth can't be the same, but they act in accordance. A chord, dance. We act according to our differences. We may strike beautiful harmony. I don't mean to get like all super feminine and mystical, airy on you all, but if you are open to hearing, you will understand what I'm saying. And these airy fairy terms in which I speak, this is to compensate for the lack of specificity in the English language. We are limited by our terms, and so I just want to say, go out there, be the best version of yourself you can be. That's it.